Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tennille. I'm a wife, a mom of three, and I document my husband and I's journey of paying off over 600,000 debt. Yes, it's still over 600,000. I wish I could come on here with better news, but or more exciting news. But yeah, unfortunately, we're still on 600. You know, when you talk about debt, it's truly a journey. It's full of highs and lows. And to be honest, in the season, I've experienced a lot of highs and I've also been experiencing a lot of lows. So when I started this channel 2 years ago, I have been extremely inconsistent because I think we get caught up in watching other people's stories and watch them show up. And it's always such good things happening, you know. The money's consistent, the debt payoff journey is happening rapidly. And then you sitting in your corner and you're like, this was a good season, but why is it like a bad season now? It's like, the spiritual warfare only happen on my side? I have been extremely inconsistent, and I've said this on many other videos that I just want to be consistent and show up, even when I have nothing to document. Because this process, this time, I'm leaving it all in God's hands. And He's been so good to me. I promise you, there hasn't been a season of lack. I think it's only been lack when I took my eyes off Him and I ventured into different other things. The journey was always for me to pay off debt, and I got to a point where I made a contract with God that whatever this business does will be strictly to pay off debt. And what I've been doing is sometimes I would take the money and pay other things, or certain things would pop up. And yeah, listen, life happens, and we end up all over the place and thinking everything deserves priority. But paying off debt is our main priority, and I promise to show up here consistently. When I started this journey, I think I also got caught up in comparing myself to others, like I said. And we're just an ordinary family. We're a family of 5. We live off just my husband's income. And I now do brows on the side, which I've been doing for years. Now we've come to a decision that anything that brows makes will go strictly into paying off debt. So that's my contract with the Lord, and I am truly sticking to it. So yeah, like I was saying, when I started this journey 2 years ago, I got so caught up in watching everyone like just fly through the journey of paying off debt, and everything was progressing so much quicker, and it deflated me. And I got to a point where I took a step back, and to be honest, I stopped paying my debt. I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this anymore. It's just a lot and it's heavy. So just to keep you updated, I was on this journey, and I was showing up every single Sunday on social media, on like the smaller platform, TikTok and Instagram. And I was showing my journey of me paying off all my debt. You know, every week, whatever I made, I was showing how much I was saving. And like I said before, I got to a point where I started giving other things priority, things that the business need. And I was like, Holy Spirit, remind me that I forgot about the contract that we made originally, was to pay off debt. And we started off with a single binder. It was a little black binder, and it was everything that I thought my family needed. It contained groceries, toiletries, whatever the babies need. I think it must have been 5 to 6 solid categories that I felt my family would survive on, and that's the only things I cashed up for every week. And my plan was working for me. But like I said, as the season went, I became a bit more adventurous, and it was a good reminder. I think the Lord had to humble me and be like, let's get back to basics. Let's get back to what you and I originally came up with. And so much has happened over the last 2 years. I've come up with my own budget journal. I now make all these different binders. Things have been truly a blessing, but I can see where the problem is, and it's only when I took my eyes off the Lord. If you look at my page, there's a big banner on the channel that says my story to tell, and I truly believe that my story will encourage at least one other person struggling to pay off debts in the season. In this time, I had a bit of a situation where we pay off our debt from smallest to largest. We pay the minimum of everything, and anything extra that I make goes towards paying extra on the smallest debt. So at the moment, our smallest debt is on 10,450 rand, but this debt was supposed to be actually on like 6,000 because of how much we've been paying towards it. But what we didn't know is a third-party creditor has our account, but the place that we originally took the subscription with, they have still been billing us. So every month it was just like I was paying the subscription but not receiving the benefits, and whatever the creditor weren't getting their portion, because it just was like I was paying the subscription every month. So when I found that out, I was depleted. I was like, what is the point of paying off this debt if nothing is changing? So when I found out, I'm gonna be honest with you, I stopped paying my debts. I just got to a season where I was like, this is heavy, this is hard to carry, But humbly, I went back to the Lord and I repented, and I'm like, I'm doing this again. And regardless of what it looks like this time, even if things pop up, my eyes are still fixated on you and still fixated on the goal, and that's paying off our debts. So here we are. I am a brow artist. And when I say brow artist, not a fancy brow artist like a permanent makeup. I am a natural brow artist. So that means I do waxing, tinting, threading, shaping. Brow lamination is my most expensive service, and that's it. So not every week looks the same. I don't have a big client list, but God has been so consistent, and He still shows up every single week, to be honest. I am a mom of 3, and I try, and I have a busy schedule. So I try and prioritize everything around doing brows, being a mother, wife, house, everything. So I'm just going to take you through this week, how much I made, how much debt I'm paying. To be honest, I'm not contributing anything to our debt, because last week I made 760 rand, which I'm going to show you now. So this is my budget journal. This was the very first one I've made, and honestly haven't changed it since. I should probably change it, but I haven't felt the need to. So the color one is something that we use for the household, and I don't think I'll ever show that one because it has all my husband's income and all our full-on expenses. If I do show it, I think I'll just show you how I cashed off our cash envelopes on a monthly basis. This one I use strictly for just the business and socials. So as you can see here, last week I made a total amount of 760 rand. And I think I paid about 456 rand. I'll make a note here. And that's how much I paid towards our debt last month. So this week I made a total amount of 330 rand. I had in my contract with the Lord is 10% goes to tithing, 10% goes to giving, and 20% goes to saving. And the 60 that's left over goes all to debt. So this is how we do it on a monthly basis. So this week I made 330 rand times 40 divided by 100. So that's 132 rand. So 30 minus 132. Okay. Like I said, this week I won't be paying any debt because whatever was left over, I needed to patch up in order to pay my Shopify accounts this month. Sometimes I am ahead of myself with, depending on how many clients I made, and I can pay off my Shopify quite early. But this month, I have enough, so I just patched it up from this week that I made. And so the savings and the remaining amounts all just went to filling up to pay the Shopify. But next week we're back on track, and whatever we make goes all to debt. So just to show you where we're at with debt, this is my current debt. We use the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps, and my smallest debt is 11,000. The starting balance was 11,000, and now we're sitting on 10,450 rand. So what I do is every time I make payments, I make note of it, and each card represents amount of 282. So all I did was took the 11,000 divided by how many cards were here, and it's 39. So every time I pay 280 rand or more, I just circle one block. So yeah, it's just to keep me motivated and back on track. And as you can see at the bottom of each of my debt trackers, I have a space for testimony, because I truly believe the Lord's going to show up and create a miracle. Because listen, with numbers like this, major miracles are required. But I told him that from the beginning, my head's going to be, I trust him, and I ask that he takes me through it, because I need this generational curse to end here. I will go through it regardless what it takes. And yeah, it's a hard season. Listen, the weight of numbers is truly a painful thing. And I don't think people realize when the Bible says you're a slave to the lender, you truly feel like a slave. It weighs heavy on you. There's so much more that you can do with the money. Like, I do browse it. I make a decent amount that could have been for myself, to add to the kids somehow, or just going on holidays. But in the season that we're in, it's all dedicated to us paying off debt. And it's fine, because I know the picture is bigger. The picture is us getting out of debt, us living a debt-free life, us giving more, saving more, just living a blessed life. And my eyes are fixed on that. And I truly believe, I saw a quote the other day that says, the trees that bear the most amounts of fruit bend lower. So when you bend lower and speak to the Lord and stay on your knees and pray, the more fruit you're going to be in every season. So yeah, that is all. It's keeping me motivated right now. You can see she is well loved. She is used. I then have another binder, and this is my 2026 savings binder. This we are truly committed to. So you can see on a weekly basis we update it if we have extra cash. And beyond July, this week I won't be adding anything to it because I don't have extra income. But if I do it next week, I'll just fill it up where I can. So this is a 5,000 Rand savings challenge. If you're interested in any of these products, please have a look at my link in my bio. You can find them all on my website. So this is my business binder, and this is whatever I make. I need to add more envelopes into it. Like, I want to add every single expense that I have to the business and try and fill it up as much as possible, because I'm tired of having situations like this where I have to sometimes wait until I get the next client just to fill it up. I want to be a month in advance and really be strict with my budget this time. So this week, as you saw, I made a total amount of 330 Rand. So that means 10%. So that will be 30 Rand, 33 Rand. I'll give to tithing. My giving, I'll put another 33 Rand. In savings, I'll put 66 Rand. And whatever's remaining, if I have cash, it will go here and I'll deposit it into my account to pay the debt, or I'll just leave it until it's filled up. Savings account I use for if there's any supplies needed for the business. I just keep it all in here. And then giving, this is, oh my gosh, I'll have to make a whole nother video on how I do this giving. I keep it in here for now, but I am coming out with another binder which is strictly just for giving, because I feel like God has put something so much bigger on my heart. Realize how important giving is. I think all of us will be so much better at giving and realize that we can't just hold the blessings in our hand. It's for us to truly bless others. And that's where the blessing, the true blessing comes from. And not just give our coins, but truly be givers. So yeah, I'll do another video on that. And tithing every week when we go to church. We didn't go last week because babies were quite sick. So this week we will be going. And yeah, so this week, as you can see, I have a total amount of 60 Rand. So this is all I'll be cashed up in today. And I hope this encourages you that regardless of how much you make, God can bless anything that you put back in his hands. So even though this may be a 60 rand, this is a 60 rand that could one day triple into something even more. But it's for us to steward the little that we have in our hands. And that's why I say I'm not just going to show up when it looks glamorous. I'm truly going to show up even when it doesn't make sense. Even if it means coming here and sitting with coins that I have for the week, that's what I'm going to do. But I want to show you the fruit of being faithful with anything you have. So like I said, this week we have 20 rand, and here we have 40 rand. So in tithes, we're going to add 30 rand. Tithes, we're going to add 30 rand. In giving, we're going to add another 30 rand. Giving is a little less because we went to a wedding, and whatever was left in our giving behind her, we wrapped it up and gave it to the bride and groom as they start their new journey. So yeah, that's all we cash stuffing for this week. So nothing goes into savings and nothing goes into miscellaneous. In this video, I just wanted to give a debt update and show you where I'm at. But from the weeks going forward, I'll be doing debt updates and my weekly cash stuffing. To be honest, this month there won't be much cash stuffing because it was a tight month for us. We had to attend a wedding, so there was a lot of shifting and shaping in our budgets. So I'm going to be honest with you, there isn't much to cash stuff. Like, we know how much we have for food, how much we have for the babies, and how much we have for entertainment. And that's it for this month. So I don't know, maybe I'll put it in next week's video. But as you know, my groceries I do online, so I never cash stuff that. And the babies, and we finish buy for them so that we are already used up. And entertainment's the only thing that we have left. So maybe I'll include it in next week's video. But yeah, that's all we have for the month ahead. It feels good to be back. I'm glad I made this video, and I hope it encourages someone, at least one person, to just be faithful with the journey that you're on, even when it doesn't make sense. We get so caught up with expectations when we see others and want it to look the same for us. And then we forget so suddenly how our God showed up when we were in the valley and on the hills. So yeah, let's become people of faith and who are steadfast like deers and truly trust in the Lord and the process ahead. And I'm going to encourage you once again, it's not going to be easy. It's a journey. I think I've started this journey with debt about 4 times at this point. And yeah, we're not wavering anymore. There are other videos that I do have coming up on this channel, and it's called Seasons with Tania. And this will just be showing my heart and where I am in the season with the Lord and all that He's showing me and taking me through. So if you are interested in those type of videos, as well as getting out of debt, please follow along, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good weekend. Bye.